I now prepare to center myself and become more aware of my inner being. In order to honor this time as sacred, I seek out a quiet and comfortable location where I can be undisturbed. I make myself comfortable and warm. Once my special centering place has been selected and my physical needs have been met, I can begin to focus on the inward journey. I close my eyes and I begin to slow my breathing. I take a slow, deep inhalation through my nose, deep into my lungs for a count of at least 5. I then exhale completely through my nose, completely emptying my lungs for a count of at least 7. I slowly and fully inhale. I slowly and fully exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. I return my breathing to a normal pattern, always in and out through my nose. I now begin to scan my body mentally for any signs of tension. I release my eyes. I relax my jaw. I relax my mouth and lips. I release my neck and shoulders, my chest and torso, my stomach and hips. I relax my arms and my hands, my legs and my feet. I scan my body again for any signs of tension. Whenever and wherever I find tension, I release and let go. Just release and let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. As I take another deep breath and slowly exhale, I begin to visualize a warm day in early summer. I'm standing on a trail in a peaceful forest. The sun is warm and shining in a clear blue sky. A light breeze brings the odors of pine and grass and flowers to my nose. The trail before me is clear and wide, and it invites me to walk slowly, enjoying the bounty of nature I see all around me. I walk mindfully along the path, taking time to appreciate and enjoy the beauty that surrounds me. I pause whenever I wish and continue on only when the moment feels right. Whenever I reach a fork in the trail, I seem to instinctively know which way to turn. Each step that I take and each decision that I make seems natural and fitting and emerges from my inner guide. Without hesitation and with a peaceful sense of purpose, I continue on my way. As I walk on, the trail gradually begins to straighten. I see it now, stretched out before me like a long arrow, trailing off into the wooded distance. As I move along this path, the flowers and grasses along the edges of the trail gradually begin to crowd in. The tree branches overhead seem to bend and overhang the trail more and more. The path narrows ever tighter with each step that I take. Still, I walk on, enjoying the closeness of nature. Now the broad trail has narrowed to a simple path, only as wide as my shoulders. The overhanging branches and crowding grasses force me to stoop a little and to move more slowly. The leaves brush my hair, and the branches press against my shoulders. Now, in order to continue on, I need to drop to my hands and knees. Moving slowly and carefully, I press my way through the clinging foliage, sensing that I am nearing the end of the trail. As I move aside one last branch and crawl my way forward, I am at last able to stand in a small clearing. There, before me, I see the mouth of a cave. The opening is just taller than my head. Twisting vines laden with brightly colored flowers climb the edges of the opening and arch overhead. I peer inside and I see that the cave opening is wide and clean. A soft carpet of fresh pine needles, several inches thick, lines the floor of the cave and stretches off into the distance, almost as though someone has laid it there just for me. With wonder in my heart, I step forward into the cave. Here, the air is warm and close. The walls and ceiling are made of ancient rock. I sense its weight and solidness all around me. Sunlight from the cave opening is added to by the streamers of sunlight shining in through cracks and openings in the stone ceiling above. The way before me is safe and inviting, and so I continue on. The carpet of pine needles guides me forward as I move ever deeper into the cave. Here the sounds of nature outside are diminished until the only sound is that of my footsteps and my breathing. I allow the feeling of solid heaviness from the stone around me to permeate my body. My breathing changes, becoming deeper, slower, and more deliberate. The pine needles beneath my feet are soft and stable. I reach out my hands from time to time to touch the ageless rocks around me. Some are as smooth as glass, worn that way by the timeless effort of unseen waters, while others are rough and sharp beneath my fingers. I pause to contemplate the endless ribbon of time, receding out behind me and stretching out before me. I begin to understand that my life does not exist in the past, nor in the future, but only exists in the now. Each instant is the most important instant in my existence. To remind myself of this, I begin to walk more slowly and deliberately. With each step forward, I tell myself, be here now. The journey behind me melts away. The destination ahead of me fades into the mist of possibilities. All that matters in each moment is this step, and then this step, and then this step. In each moment, with each step, I am fully present. Ahead of me, the carpet of pine needles begins to descend as the cave begins to delve deeper into the earth. Although the descent is steep, the floor is still soft and wide, and I am not afraid. As the cave bends down into the earth, the sunlight that has guided and warmed me thus far begins to rapidly fade. The air becomes chilly and damp, and the walls and ceiling begin to open up as the cave widens around me. The light dims more and more with each step that I take. I move from sunlight to torchlight to candlelight to starlight and finally to blackness. I stop in the total darkness, listening to the deafening silence all around me. This is a place of no light and no sound. I begin to wonder if I have the courage to make it through this dark place. But then I remind myself that this moment is but one moment. It is not my future, and I do not need to give it the power to change my vision for myself. Cautiously but confidently, I take a step forward into the darkness. The carpet of pine needles is there as before, reminding me that even in the darkest places, I have the support that I need if I simply trust that it will be there. I take another step, and another, and another. Each time I sense that I am moving out of the darkness and toward the light. And sure enough, before long, I begin to see a flickering red light on the solid rock walls around me. The path under my feet rises again, leading me out of the darkness and toward the light. The cave path leads me into a large open space, with red light and shadows bouncing and flickering around me. The air is warm again, and the sweet smell of smoke tells me that a roaring fire is burning nearby. As my eyes adjust to the light, I see that the carpet of pine needles ends at a sheer stone wall rising up before me. A short distance above, I see a wide plateau, and I can see that it is here that the fire is waiting for me. The stone wall has rough steps and handholds carved into it, making it possible for me to carefully climb my way upwards. The way is difficult, but not dangerous. The warm light of the fire draws me ever upward. Although the path is very challenging, I know in my heart that I am meant to climb it, and that climb it I shall. And so I press on. As I finally reach the top of the stone staircase, I emerge into a room of stone and rock, and I can see that I have reached the end of the cave. Here, the entire floor is lined with soft and fresh pine needles. In the center of the room, a crackling campfire burns within a stone ring. The smoke is sweet-smelling, and the warmth of the fire permeates my body. The light of the flames dances and flickers over the stone walls and ceiling, coloring the entire room in shades of red, orange, and yellow. Across the room, on the other side of the fire, I see a shadowy figure seated on the ground, wearing a hooded cloak of animal fur and rough cloth. I move closer, sensing that I am safe and welcome. The figure stirs, gesturing that I should join them at the fireside. I sit comfortably across the fire from the figure, feeling the warm, fresh pine needles comfort my weary body, and we sit together in silence for a moment, this figure and I, fully present in this instant in time. Eventually, the figure reaches up with both hands and removes the hood that was hiding their face. As the fur and hide and rough cloth are folded back and away, I see to my surprise that the person sitting across the fire from me is a version of myself. I suddenly realize that my entire journey to this place has been a quest to meet myself. This version of me, however, is a reflection of the more primitive, ageless, timeless nature of myself. Untroubled by modern life, unbothered by distractions, fearless in love and fierce in commitment, calm in the face of adversity and confident in their vision, grateful for each moment and giving of every gift. This figure is the essential, inner, primal essence of me. We lock eyes across the glowing fire. I sense that this person sees through my pretenses, sees past my facades, knows all my secrets and fears and hopes and dreams, and loves me anyway. The crackling fire and gently rising smoke relax me from head to foot. As the shades of red, yellow, and orange dance over my body, the heat of the fire permeates my muscles, leading me into a deep state of relaxation. I am calm. I am still. I am at peace. I am centered. In a gentle, loving voice, this primal version of myself says to me, "Ask what you came here to ask." For the next few minutes, I will remain focused and envision the conversation that follows. I now prepare to return to the everyday world. I come back slowly from the center of my being, from the inner to the outer. With a grateful heart, I wish this reflection of my true nature farewell, and I rise from the fireside. As I stand, the figure reaches into the fire and lifts out a brightly glowing torch. "This was yours all along. It will always be here for you," the figure says as they hand the torch to me. I make my way slowly back down the rock wall. I pass through the depths of darkness, this time with more confidence and peace because I have the light of my torch to guide me. The bright glow of the gift I have given myself blazes away the darkness and lights up the world. I retrace my steps through the cave with joy in my heart and peace in my mind. Soon I reach the mouth of the cave and pass with ease through the close branches of the ever-widening trail. Before long, I find myself once again on an easy path with the wind at my back, the sun on my shoulders, and an inviting trail beneath my feet. I bring with me the words of my essential self, and I know that I can return any time that I wish. I remind myself that after centering, several things begin to happen. Spiritually, I become more enlightened. In fact, my inner light shines so brightly that it affects everyone on this planet in a positive manner. This in turn affects me mentally, and I become more enriched. My thoughts are more pure and creative, which in turn affects me emotionally, and I become more enthusiastic, with more love for others, which affects me physically, and I become more energized with the fullness of life. For after centering myself, I know that with my inner spiritual power, all things are possible in my life, and that whatever the spirit within leads me to do, I will do better than ever before. In fact, each day, in every way, I am getting better and better and better. I open my eyes and I am wide awake, revitalized, refreshed, and in tune with life. I am enlightened, I am enriched, I am enthused, I am energized. I am. I just am.